Uber claims that their self-driving cars work pretty good for the most part. A former Uber employee who actually worked on the cars and drove in the cars says a completely different story. Hey everyone, this is Kevin, the Apptrepreneur, and we're only going to do one new video today. First of all, I'm actually not feeling great, to be honest. There's something in here that's starting. I'm hoping that goes away after taking some NyQuil. Who knows? But that's one reason we're only doing one video today. The other reason is because I did 2 videos yesterday, 2 videos that were outside of the box. And the views were actually pretty good, all things considering. I would definitely take more than 300 views per video over the 50 views per video that my out-of-the-box videos have usually been getting. But strangely enough, they both got demonetized. And they weren't about anything particularly offensive. One was about people potentially seeing more value in DVDs as Netflix starts to remove stuff from streaming. And the other one, what was the other one about? It was something about Amazon firing people through texts. Those got demonetized, apparently not advertiser friendly, but my video on my other channel about MoviePass keeping a consultant who was known to grope women, apparently that was a-okay for advertisers. So, yeah, YouTube's demonetization thing still really doesn't make any sense. And I'm only going to do one video today I'm kind of testing something out. But thankfully, we have a legitimate story to talk about with the autonomous vehicles. Because here's the thing, Uber has always said, oh, these cars work. They work and, you know, they can go this many miles. Look at how many miles we have gone, you know. And this former Uber employee paints a picture that shows that the self-driving cars really didn't work all that well. And in fact, Uber may be potentially exaggerating how well they work, because they only work as well as they do under certain circumstances. So let's look at this Business Insider article. It says Ryan Kelly, a former safety driver for Uber's autonomous vehicles program, told Business Insider he felt as if he wasn't allowed to take bathroom breaks the months before he was fired. Now, you probably saw the little headline there. That's the hook for the story. And admittingly, that is pretty awful, what we're going to talk about, because it is bad. It is bad what Uber was doing to this guy. But the reason they were doing that to him, I think, is a lot more valuable for us to talk about than the fact that they were encouraging him not to take bathroom breaks. As it says right here, Kelly described December 2017 as a stressful month for Uber's autonomous driving team, which was under pressure to log as many test miles as possible. Because that's the thing with Uber and a lot of these tech companies really like to log miles. How many miles have these things driven? It's like those, like, you know, it's been 18 days without an accident. It's like, oh, if you can show how many miles you've driven without an accident, then, you know, that looks good on you, even if the way you got those numbers is a little unethical. Stopping a test vehicle for a bathroom break could disturb it and ultimately require up to an hour of rebooting or troubleshooting. Yeah, that was just said. If the reason they were having him not take bathroom breaks was because if the vehicle stopped, it would take an hour or so to reboot and troubleshoot the thing. That doesn't sound like a very reliable car, now does it? That doesn't sound like something that you could use every day. How many times do the cars have to stop? In fact, it almost looks really bad. Like, so maybe the Uber cars weren't stopping because, you know, like, for pedestrians, because Uber was tampering with the program so that they wouldn't stop. This is weird. This is weird. The almighty self-driving car, the one that's going to save the company, the one that's going to make them money because they can get rid of you and me and everyone in between, they can't even stop it. Like, wow. So, let's see here. which would decrease the number of miles it would drive. Of course it would. Quote, they made it clear you should probably hold it. You probably should hold it, I'm sorry. Uber's autonomous driving software was prone to overly aggressive braking on one day that month, leaving Kelly's vision blurred and a stomach upset, he said. The car of the future. Everyone's going to love this thing. They're all going to need glasses or contact lens or something after they've driven in an Uber self-driving car. This is funny. He described the experience of operating the vehicle that day as similar to, quote, being in a series of low-end collisions for 3 hours with my head slamming against the headrest constantly. You'd hope that maybe they could make the headrest like a pillow something. It's a lot softer, but no. So, yeah, 3 hours of feeling like they're in a collision. Now, granted, most Uber rides will probably be a lot shorter. We're talking 10, 15 minutes on average. But do you really want to feel like you're getting in a collision every time you get into an Uber vehicle? Like, after so many times of being in that, are you going to start having vision loss? That this is Uber's future? This isn't a future even worth hoping to have. I know they're going to improve it at some point, but 2 years? Kelly and other drivers told their supervisors about the headaches they experienced that day. After the manager responsible for safety, Rob Shoup, heard about the driver's complaints, he accused the drivers of faking their symptoms. Wow. I don't expect anything less from Uber. Yeah, that makes sense. It's always the driver's fault. I don't know if you remember, but a couple of years ago, I did a video where some female drivers came to Uber claiming that they were assaulted by riders. And Uber, instead of like taking the, advice seriously, maybe figuring out that there should be some safety guards to prevent women from being paired with riders that are known to be a little bit more aggressive than others. They actually, I remember them saying like, well, maybe the women were being, excuse me, too suggestive. Maybe they should be careful about what they wear. Maybe they shouldn't say certain things. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, folks. Again. What are we, back in 1950? Geez. This has been going on for years. Years. That female drivers are not feeling safe. And Uber continues to this day to ignore that feedback. And now here it is. Look at that. A bunch of drivers came and said, hey, these cars are actually really not good. They're giving us headaches. They're causing vision blurriness. It feels like we're being in a car wreck all the time. And keep in mind, this is feedback you probably want because this is a product you're putting on the road. It's almost, do you just want to ignore the advice? That usually doesn't go well. I remember when the original Xbox came out with this giant controller, and it was found out later on that one of the biggest complaints was that the controller was too big, and it took them 2 years to fix that problem. And that cost them who knows how many sales, because people hold this thing in the stores and are like, this doesn't feel comfortable. You would think Uber would want to know that the cars aren't working. They're not comfortable to ride in. Because it doesn't matter how cheap the ride is, if people are going to walk out with like a headache, it's like they're not going to ride your cars. And now they're saying, oh, you're faking your symptoms. Grow up, Uber. Seriously, grow up. Quote, they are just faking it, trying to shirk work, Shoup said, according to Kelly. Although Uber denies that Shoup accused anyone of faking their complaints. Well, they weren't taking it seriously, so I'm going to kind of consider that admission that, no, he did, in fact, tell them this. Kelly left work early that day and was diagnosed with a mild concussion. This is, okay, he has an actual diagnosis, so... Consistent with symptoms for a low-speed car accident. Wow. They want to put these on the road. After his wife made him go to the emergency room. Wow. Sue him. Seriously, Kelly, sue Uber. He said he brought his ER diagnosis to work the next day. Oh, God, this is good. Oh, this is going to get bad. This is going to get bad. I just know it. As evidence of his and other safety drivers' headaches, and reported Shoup's comments to Uber's Human Resources Department. That's your first mistake. They don't care. Okay, after the Sam's Club ad, what is Uber's response? Oh, I cannot wait to read this. This is actually the first time I'm fully reading the article. So let's just see together for the first time what Uber's response was. About a month later, on January 26th, Kelly was fired. Wow, that's actually kind of anticlimactic. I sort of wanted Uber to say something stupid again, but yeah, actually, that makes sense. Yeah, they're just going to fire him. Uber's HR told him he had let the car roll through a stop sign on January 3rd and failed to report it. Okay, that's what I was looking for. Like, oh, wow, that's the kind of incompetence I was expecting from Uber. Kelly denied that the incident occurred to Business Insider and told us he was never shown the car's video of the incident. Yep, sue him. Uber says that after initially denying it, Kelly later admitted fault and apologized. Oh, Kelly. Oh, Kelly. Oh. Oh, no, don't do that. Don't ever. Because here's the thing, I can guarantee you they will record that. That they will record. Okay, you can't sue them anymore. His apology did not get him reinstated to his job. No, of course not. Here's the thing, Uber knew he could... Kelly, if you're watching this, what happened there, Uber knew you were going to sue them and you were going to win, and they would have to settle. So they probably put up this dog and pony show like, hey, apologize. You might get your job back. You apologize. Like, okay, it's on the record. He can't sue us anymore. Fire him. Just keep him fired. Quote, I truly believe I was let go because I was a squeaky wheel. I made safety concerns. Also, you showed how much of a liability these cars are, and Uber can't have that narrative out there. And I still see other UberTubers, big UberTubers, who believe Uber's lies about how these cars are safe, they're going to be on the road 2 years. No, you know when they said they were going to be on the road? This year. Those cars were supposed to be on the road this year because they were bragging about them being out in 2 years. 2 years ago. I've been reporting on it all that time. In an emailed statement, Eric Mayhofer, oh geez, Eric again, the current leader of Uber's self-driving car unit, acknowledged that the team made missteps in the past. That's our favorite term. We've made missteps. Even though every time they admit, oh yeah, we made missteps. We're not going to actually do anything to fix them. We're not going to provide restitution or anything. But yeah, we made missteps. But said it had done some soul searching in the 9 months since the fatal soul searching. Soul searching doesn't put food on the table. Quote, our team continues to demonstrate a strong commitment to building a culture rooted in safety, transparency, and continuous improvement across every facet of our self-driving development. While we have made some missteps in the past, we are optimistic that the changes we've made over the last 9 months reflect the kind of culture we want to foster at ATG. Yeah, you know, typical BS Uber response. So, here's the thing. They're now inquiring, have you worked for Uber? Do you have a story to share? Email this reporter. Please do. And not only will he write his article, but I will probably be reading it here. So, yeah, here's the thing. You look up here at this headline. An ex-Uber employee claims he wasn't allowed to take bathroom breaks the month before he was fired. That is definitely a scandalous headline, and that is worth reporting on. I can see why they highlighted that. But I think this article highlights even something deeper than that. Not only you see, they're highlighting the employee abuse, and that's worth highlighting. But the article also details a technology that is not safe, a technology that actually does way more harm than good, and a company who does not acknowledge that it's not bad. In fact, you know what? When you go down to this statement, let's look at the statement again real quick. Where is it? I do got to get an ad blocker for this phone. Our team continues to demonstrate a strong commitment to building a culture rooted in safety, transparency, and continuous improvement across every facet of our self-driving development. While we have made some missteps in the past, we are optimistic that the changes we made over the last 9 months reflect the kind of culture we want to foster at ATG. What does he actually apologize for in that statement? Is that apologizing for the cars not working, for the way they treated him, or for the fact that they're just lying in general? Like, what is that actually apologizing for? I don't know. I don't know. I've now read that twice. I'm looking at it, and I just don't get what it's referring to. I don't. I mean, it sounds like they're kind of like apologizing for being jerks in general, but that doesn't necessarily apply to just his statement. Unfortunately, Kelly, of course, did apologize, and I bet you they have that on record. So if it were brought to court, they wouldn't have the video of the incident which he got fired, but they would have his apology recorded. I mean, you know, it kind of reminds me of, have any of you seen the movie Philomena? Which, by the way, is a great movie. It was a Best Picture nominee, I believe. And it's a story about a journalist looking for a son that a old Catholic lady, played by Judi Dench, had given up when she was a teenager, or forced to give up by the nuns, the Catholic Church. Of course, the first place they go is they go to the Catholic Church because they want the records of the birth. And conveniently, all those records were lost in a church fire. However, they still had a form, a release form that she had signed saying that they are not held responsible for anything they do with the baby. That's what Uber's doing right here. They probably no longer have any of the information that he did any wrongdoing, but they will have his confession that he did something wrong. Disgusts me. It absolutely disgusts me. And here, again, this story, more than anything, shows why the self-driving cars are not going to work, why they are not even close to working. They give people concussions, they give them headaches, they blur their vision. It's like being in little car crashes. And if you actually stop the things, they have to reboot for an hour. Yeah. So anyway, we're going to probably end that right there. Again, my throat's getting worse. I hope I don't regret making this video. But anyway, what do you folks think? This article, just what do you think about it in general? I would love to know. So comment below. Like, favorite, share, subscribe, and as always, blame responsibly. Have a good one.